Infinity Stone. He is the Sorcerer Supreme. He can do a lot of shit without the Time Stone. He doesn't need it for anything but what he does with that, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, he could do a lot of shit. So I think my theory is that he made it appear as though he disappeared with everybody else, and he went incognito under the radar to possibly recruit the next wave of attack on Thanos, and maybe to go find mystical beings that he knows of to fight against the Infinity Gems. So I think that's a possibility. Because we do know, well, he went through, he calculated 14 million possibilities.
Yeah.
Where they win, and he said how many, and Tony Stark says, well, how many did we win? And he says one. And he tells Tony Stark before he disappears, it had to be this way. This is the only way it could have happened, or something like that. Meaning, I think this is the only way we win. I have to disappear for a while. I'm going undercover. And gonna fix everything, because he saw the one possibility, so he knows how it plays out, and then he says this is how it has to be. So this is the way they win.
And I mean, if they bring in the Netflix characters, I mean, I would love that, because they need reinforcements, and they have these established reinforcements. Then there are reinforcements they've established in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because they've established Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider. They have established Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider, which I sent you that video. Johnny Blaze is established in this universe. He exists.
Well, with Ragnarok, so does Man-Thing.
Man-Thing exists, and that's like twice Man-Thing has been
Yeah, two mentions in the cinematic TV world.
Sif, we don't know where Sif is. Sif never died in Ragnarok. Sif was not in Ragnarok, so we don't know where Sif is. Yeah, she was shown at all. Yeah, and she was never shown on the ships or anything like that. Sif is still.
They showed a version of Sif, the actor playing her in the play that Loki puts on, but we don't see the actual Sif.
Yeah, so Sif is still out there. Howard the Duck's still out there. Get Howard. Give him a gun. Give Howard a gun in the next Avengers movie and let him go at it. There's so many characters, Luke Cage, Daredevil, whatever.
If you don't have a Hulk, Luke Cage is pretty good.
Yeah, if you don't have a Hulk, Luke Cage is damn good. And you got an Iron Fist.
Yeah.
You've got a Daredevil. You got Jessica Jones.
Elektra.
You've got Elektra.
You got, with the exception of Deadpool, you've got almost the entire Thunderbolts crew that have been introduced in the in the TV, between TV, Netflix, and everything else. I mean, they've introduced even the leader in the Incredible Hulk movie. The leader was introduced.
Yeah.
So I mean, we get everybody but Deadpool, and if the Fox deal goes through early, who knows? Maybe you'll see the Thunderbolts on screen in Avengers 4.
I don't even care. Bring in Squirrel Girl. She's beaten Thanos.
I think the possibility. It's such a weird ending, it very much reminded me of the way Empire Strikes Back ends, with everything just disheveled, everything is blown apart to be fixed later. So I mean, it very much reminded me of that. So it's like, what could they possibly do now? What are they gonna do?
Also was very reminiscent of House of M. Very reminiscent of House of M. No More Mutants. When Scarlet Witch said no more mutants, and half the mutant population were depowered. You're taking away half the world population, which also meant you took away half the superhero population. But the fact that the movie ends with Thanos just sitting there smiling on a planet as the sun comes up on a new day.
Yeah, well, that's what he said he was going to do. Once he got it done, he was going to retire and watch the sun come up.
Pissed off everyone who has never read the books. Pissed off everybody that has never read a comic book in the movie theater. There were people at the end of that movie when Thanos smiled and it went to the credits. They were like, "That's bullshit. What do you fuck? That's bullshit." And I'm just sitting there laughing. I'm like, "You bunch of uneducated people." I was
just thinking, wow, I can't believe they ended that dark. I know there's gonna be, because for one thing, even for people that don't read comics, they've got Guardians movies planned, they've got Spider-Man movies planned. This isn't the end of this by far. They're not just going to disappear and never come back. It's going to be some kind of reversal of this happen.
Yeah.
But I just thought, wow, it was unexpected that it would end that way. That it would just be everything left just in pieces, and Thanos smiling and being victorious at the end. I was like, oh my god,
It's the only way it could have
fucking
ended.
amazing.
That's the only way that one could have ended, because it leaves it open for the next one. We're gonna figure out where it's gonna. There's gonna be a tie-in probably at the end credits with Ant-Man and Wasp, where they get called in. There's going to be a lot that's going to happen, but as far as the Marvel movies go, this one really has been my favorite.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite. It's got everything. It's got everything so far up to this point. I mean, with the surprise, they've got like surplus to bring in for part 4. So I mean, it's going to be. It's pretty awesome.
Even the little things, Thunderbolt Ross being in the movie for a minute or two, all these little things, all these tiny little things in that movie that lead, because they've got movies planned out for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and especially with so I read that, and then I got my Marvel books. And I read the first new issue of Avengers. I finished No Surrender, and then I read the new Jason Aaron Avengers. I don't know if you've gotten to it yet.
No, I did for later on for reviews. I did read No Justice, so then I've got to compare it to the new Avengers, really. But we'll get to that later. But go ahead.
I think Marvel is finally realizing on all fronts what they've done in the last couple of years hasn't worked, and they're going back to basics. When you read Jason Aaron's Avengers, the new one, it really does have that sense of what's been going on with these brand new heroes that have been showing up is not working. It has to come down to this core thing. Basically, and this doesn't spoil the book for you, Chief, but because the team of the new Avengers from Jason Aaron, you can see it on the cover.
Yeah.
But it's Captain America, Tony Stark, and Thor basically saying, yes, there are all these new heroes, but it has to start with us because we are the originals. We started this. We have to get this thing back to the way it was.
Yeah.
And then stuff happens in that book.
So it's they're scaling back the Avengers? This is totally opposed to Tony Stark's "we have to get bigger" from Hickman.
Pretty much. They are. And if you look at that team, it has its core people. You have Captain America, you have Thor, you have Tony Stark, you have a Hulk. I mean, it's in there. But there's more to it in that book. Jason Aaron's got something big going on. Jason Aaron is starting something huge in that book.
Yeah, I got to get to those. I got a whole. This is all my catch-up stuff right here. I got it all organized.
Yeah, I got a lot of them that I got to catch up. But I did not get X-Men Gold number 26, so now I got to hunt down a copy of that. So I got 27, but I didn't get 26. I got to talk to my guy and say, look, I didn't get this issue. You need to get me a copy of this issue.
Yeah. I was very relieved that I was able to get a copy of Avengers 1 because like I said, I hate when they do these reboots.
Yeah.
Nothing against the creators, but whoever is setting up these reboots, whoever's in charge over Marvel, that reboots the books every twice a goddamn year, you're screwing up my sub list every time you do it because the computer kicks out the title whenever it reboots to a number 1 or something. So then I no longer get that title. So luckily, I thought it would have been in my box. It wasn't. Luckily, they had some copies left, and I was able to get one and put it on my list again. But Marvel, stop with the reboots. Stop with the renumbering shit.
Yeah.
You're just screwing up my lists.
But if you have not seen Avengers Infinity War, it is worth your time to go see it if you're a comic book fan. I mean, it is an amazing, amazing movie. Like I said, I smiled from ear to ear. My son loved it.
Yeah. There's elements of all sorts of Thanos Infinity stuff throughout, but definitely took a lot from Hickman's Infinity with the Black Order, and just fucking good movie. I thought, man, good superhero movie.
God, it was so good, and I'm happy because I was able to go to the theater and enjoy it in the theater You know, my son has now wants to go see my son wants me to take him this month to go see Solo.
You know what? I think it looks
Solo.
good, man. I think it looks good, dude.
After seeing like the little TV spots weren't selling me, but after seeing the full scale trailer in the theater, I was like, you know what? Yes, I gotta see this.
Yeah, I didn't think I could get past the guy's face being just totally off from Harrison Ford, but when you see him actually in the trailer, it looks a little more like a younger Han Solo. He does look a little. I think I can get past it for the movie. It looks good.
And Donald Glover, I swear, Donald Glover as a young Lando is to me, it's just from the trailer, spot on.
Yeah, I put it on Twitter the other day that I want to see this movie, and I'm not gonna lie, I mostly want to see Lando. I want to see it mostly for Lando. I mean the Han Solo guy, fine. I'm getting over the face, but I mean the Lando looks dead on, and I want to see some early Lando stories.
Especially with us not getting any Lando in the new Star Wars.
Well, yeah, still don't know what the fuck, man. I'm telling you, I don't know what the deal is with Last Jedi and why people love it so much, but I thought it was like a parody of Star Wars.
Is Hunter not talking to you anymore because you don't like that movie?
No, I mean, I just think if you haven't seen it, I mean,
I haven't.
I'd hate to ruin it if you want to watch it someday, but I'm telling you, you don't even want to see it. It will almost ruin, like for me, I don't know how you'll feel about it. But for me, it almost just ruined Star Wars for me, just the way they took Luke out in it. I thought that was just such a lame,
Here's my biggest
stupid
thing.
way.
Here's my thing about those movies is having read so much of the extended universe with the books. Before these movies ever came out, reading the books, the extended universe books, and all the things that went on with Luke and Han and the twins and everything, from Chewie getting killed to Han going into an alcoholic depression because Chewie died. I mean, all that stuff, and then seeing that completely wiped out, these new movies coming in, and characters dying, not how I envision them dying, kind of going out bullshit ways. It's hard for me to accept it, and it's not that I won't accept it, it's just kind of hard when for so long you had this extended universe that was considered, at that time, canon. Those books were canon until these new movies started being made, and then
I thought that The Force Awakens was pretty good, man. I really thought, wow, they really put some life back into Star Wars. And then The Last Jedi it's pretty boring. It's long as hell. It's mostly basically Fury Road in space with the rebellion running from the First Order or whatever, the Resistance or whatever they are in the First Order. The distinction there is just dumb to me. For one thing, there was the First Order. First Order is obviously the Empire. It's based off the remnants of the Empire. Just call it the fucking Empire. It's just basically they're chasing the rebels, and it just basically is disaster after disaster after disaster for the rebels. And Luke's story is a bummer, and I fucking hated it, man. I don't know what else to say. I don't care about whatever political agenda has to do it. I watched it. It just was way too long and boring, and nothing really happens. And they took Luke out like a chump. And it didn't make it a lot of stupid shit. And it wasn't Star Wars to me. It sucked.
Well, I liked Force Awakens. I liked Force Awakens. But where it really started going downhill for me was Rogue One. And so many people were like, oh, Rogue One is so good. Rogue One is amazing. Probably one of the best Star Wars movies they ever made. I'm sitting there
to me, it was like, but I'm telling you, it's 100 times better than Last Jedi.
Right,
it blows it out of the water.
Well, first of all, I sat there with Rogue One. I said, first of all, I already know how it ends. I already know how it ends.
Since 1978.
Since 1978, we knew how this was going to end. You gave me no background on a lot of these characters. You gave me no reason to like any of these characters or to feel for these characters or anything like that. So I did not give a shit about JSO or whatever her name is. Honestly, everybody's like, oh, she's such a great character. No, she wasn't. She was a dumbass bitch throughout the whole fucking movie. The only good part of that movie was Darth Vader showing up and kicking fucking ass.
Yeah, that's like that was kind of cool. You saw Darth Vader